Hello everyone and welcome to CMSD TV. I'm Shannon Cantner bringing you the latest news out of the Cleveland Metropolitan School District. Spring is in the air and so is the sound of music. We've had several special performances around the district lately, from the Cleveland Orchestra to Disney's The Lion King, and even an original play performed by international students with the help of Cleveland Public Theater. Take a look as our scholars take center stage. CMSD students received a music masterclass recently, taught by none other than the Cleveland Orchestra. The Patrick Henry Gym transformed from a place to play games to a place to play world-class music as part of the orchestra's Education Week. And it sure hit a high note with the students. There might have even been some future conductors in the audience. Take a look.
For us at the Cleveland Orchestra, this is really what it's all about, and to take this music that we perform all the time in Severance Hall and to bring it somewhere here like Patrick Henry for these fantastic students who were just so great the whole time and really in and really focused. It's a pleasure. This is why we do what we do.
Music is all a matter of time, and our goal in this afternoon's concert is to find out exactly how music moves in time. In other words, what makes music tick?
There are different ways to approach educational programming. Sometimes you want to make sure that they're hearing the greatest hits. They want to get Beethoven 9. They want to get the Dvorak New World Symphony in there. They want to get the pieces that everybody knows. And there's definitely a little bit of that in this. We played Stars and Stripes Forever by Sousa. We played the Blue Danube Waltz by Strauss. But what I tend to do when I'm programming education concerts like this is to start with the concept. What is it that I want the kids to walk away from knowing after these concerts? I always love anytime we can get a student volunteer to come up and conduct. That's always a lot of fun for me, mostly because I actually get like a 3-minute break when it happens. You know, I'm about halfway through the show. I could use a little breather, but it's always fun to have somebody come up and stand in front of the Cleveland Orchestra for the first time. And I have to say, you know, when it's younger kids like this, our audience today was 3rd grade through 8th grade, they don't know enough to be terrified of standing in front of the Cleveland Orchestra like professional conductors would be. So it's a great thing to just watch them get up there and have a lot of fun.
Ajane did a fabulous job conducting the orchestra. I think she shocked herself, and it was great for everyone, the community, scholars, educators, to actually witness that moment, and I was so proud of her. I wish today didn't have to end with the music. We all support learning, we all support our scholars and family and community engagement, and we all also reflect of ourselves as an orchestra. We all have to play our part.
Everybody takes away something a little bit different, which is great because we present a lot of information in these concerts, not in, I hope, an overwhelming way, but in a way that everybody can latch on to whatever it is that grabs them the most. So I think everybody takes away something different, and I think that's actually one of the joys of doing these kinds of concerts. This is not something that is reserved for Severance Hall. This is music that's for everybody, and that's why we come out here.
The orchestra played for more than 10,000 students in the Northeast Ohio area during the Education Week. Last year, they performed at Mound STEM School. For more stories like this, visit clevelandmetroschools.org/news. Reporting from the CMSD TV studio, I'm Shannon Cantner. The Lion King is coming to a theater near you, but not a movie theater. It's being performed by elementary school students from Marion Sterling, and they're not just singing The Circle of Life, they're learning about it too through this much-loved musical.
Our principal, Ms. Chestnut, thought it would be a great idea to apply for this grant from the Playhouse Square in partnership with Disney Musicals. She saw it as a great opportunity to expose the children to theater, teach them public speaking skills and performance skills. So we were all excited to get on board and put it together.
Rehearsals began in October. Teaching artists came once a week to help with the production and coach the cast of about 30 3rd through 5th graders. And most of them had never been on stage before, like Stanley Turpin, who's working on his roar as Mufasa.
That hairball is my son, your future king.
It's a new experience to me. I'm not really into acting, but it's a good thing to know that it's fun. You can play with your friends, and it's very good.
It's been really fun. People are participating more. We have a lot of people wanting to be in The Lion King, so yeah, it's a lot of fun.
We have a few middle schoolers that are just helping to mentor the students with dancing and acting. They're helping as stage managers, and they're a great addition.
What they're learning on stage is also helping them in the classroom. Teacher and director Megan Casarda says her students are more engaged now.
It's really neat how much of it actually kind of loops back or relates to what we're teaching in school. So since I'm a science and social studies teacher, we talk about circle of life. Like we went to food chains and life cycles, and they're also the kids who are more shy in class, and now they're like, oh, that's my part, I can tell you. And so it's cute to see how they're actually relating what they're doing in their after school program to like their actual academic work. And so I think there's also, we've seen like more friendships, and now they're like, this is my Lion King friend. Like we come on stage together for the circle of life. So they've kind of, I think it's really helped like classroom culture too, because it's more time spent with each other, more time collaborating, and it's kind of nice to see that.
It helps me be more confident in myself. It helps me be more familiar with things that I never did before. But most of all, I feel happy and energized.
Oh, I just can't wait to be king.
And they just can't wait for their performance on March 4th at Tri-C's Metro Main Stage Theater. Admission is free, and the show begins at 6 p.m. It's a night for the whole community to take pride in.
My mother's going to be there, so yeah, she's going to be proud of me.
Honestly, I'm just amazed at what they were able to come up with, because some of the stuff is just so intricate and so complicated, and they really took it, they really focused. And so like I think like learning a song in a different language, they weren't just trying to like muddle their way through it. Like they really thought about, well, how do I say this word? And so they really like step by step took it so seriously and are so proud of it. And just how far they've come since October amazes me. So our kids are just outstanding.
I know we're all going to cry when we see our babies up there, so we're looking forward to it.
Can you feel the love tonight?
But some have already shed a few tears, because this cast of Marion Sterling students and staff can definitely feel the love tonight and at every rehearsal.
The first time they like really got the song down, it was beautiful, and I was just like crying in the side. And they're like, Miss K, I'm like, no, something's in my eye. Like I'm not actually crying. They're like, we made you cry. Can You Feel the Love Tonight made you cry. So now they all know that that's the song that makes me cry. They're just gonna wow everyone. They're amazing.
Marion Sterling was one of 4 Northeast Ohio schools to receive the grant. Paul Dunbar and Campus International are also presenting Disney shows. For their grand finale, all the schools are performing a couple of songs on Monday, March 7th at Playhouse Square's Ohio Theater. For more stories like this, visit clevelandmetroschools.org/news. Reporting from the CMSD TV studio, I'm Shannon Kantner. There's a new original play hitting the stage in Cleveland featuring stories from around the world, written and performed by the students who actually lived through them. The production is called We Belong. It was created with Cleveland Public Theater and the Thomas Jefferson International Newcomers Academy High School Performance Project. The partnership helped bring their stories to life for the whole community to hear.
We cannot know someone's story unless they tell you.
The play is called We Belong. It is based off of a Mother Teresa quote that said, if we have no peace, it is because we've forgotten that we belong to each other. It is a series of stories. Each student reads or recites or performs their own story, and in some cases they've asked another person in the ensemble to play them while they tell the story.
My stepmother, she tried to take everything from me.
We began with a series of workshops with the high school students in December, and then we started with regular rehearsals in January. For the first several weeks, it was about using theater exercises to build trust and to build a sense of the ensemble. Once we were able to trust one another, that's when we started to ask some of the harder questions. Where are you from? What was it like where you came from? What were the challenges that either you or your family faced in order to come here? And that's when they started to share, just in a very simple interview style or writing it out, their stories. And then once we had that material, we were able to see how we can make it into more of a performance.
It's amazing. Students brand new to the United States this year, and they're expressing how they feel inside and actually their stories. A lot of times they're told to keep what happens in the household, so they're performing in front of everyone, sharing their stories from around the world. We have students from Sudan, from Uganda, from Congo, from Santo Domingo, from South America, from Puerto Rico, all working together on this production and actually performing in front of our students. So I'm very excited and proud of my students.
I'm very, very proud, and I think that all of their parents and their peers are going to be so surprised. Many of them have come very far. They were very shy, didn't want to speak. When I said it would be a public performance, they were like, no, please, no, please, no. But when you see them up there now, the confidence and their ability to project their voices, we're just so proud of the growth in just 2 months.
The stories from the kids who go to Thomas Jefferson are incredible. We have so much to learn from them. So the whole process of creation has just been a learning experience, not just for the kids, but for the artists working with them, for their peers, and I hope for our entire community.
It has been a total blessing to be able to be in this school. This is an incredible school. I've never been in any school like it. Everyone needs to know about it. The hope is that by hearing these stories, people in the United States, their peers, and people in the Cleveland community will see what they've been through and welcome them and welcome their families and see what kind of contribution these families can make to our community.
The students performed a few shows for their school. Your one-night-only chance to see the production is Friday, March 11th at 5:30 p.m. at Thomas Jefferson International Newcomers Academy on West 46th Street. The performance is free and open to the public with a reception to follow. For more stories like this, visit clevelandmetroschools.org/news. Reporting from the CMSD TV studio, I'm Shannon Kantner. Students at the Cleveland School of Science and Medicine also took center stage recently, but for a very different reason. Check out the annual White Coat ceremony. Friends, family, and faculty filled the John Hay Auditorium recently to see future doctors and scientists take the first steps toward their careers. It was the 10th annual Cleveland School of Science and Medicine White Coat ceremony with the largest group of 9th graders yet. 115 students walked on stage to receive their crisp, clean, bright white coats embroidered with their names, ready to be worn with pride for years to come.
Welcome to our 10th anniversary of our White Coat celebration. We wait to the second semester to see who all has hung in there and didn't quit. And all of these 115 faces out there, a record number for us, shows the commitment to a rigorous program of study. Attendance award, summa cum laude, Excellence Award in Biology.
I still can't stop smiling. It means that I'm advancing to the next level and getting better at my work. And to me, it feels like I'm becoming more of a young man and achieving some goals.
Excellence Award in Geometry, Most Improved in English, and Most Improved in Biology.
We hope you wear your white coat with pride. You deserve to. In turn, you've made us very proud of you, and we look forward to all that you will accomplish and all that you will do for humankind. So congratulations to the class of 2019 on behalf of the entire Board of Trustees.
I promise to respect my white coat and always remember where I came from. Lastly, and this is what my dad has taught me since I was born, I promise to reach for the top because the bottom is already full. Thank you.
It's a highlight every year. To see the full house and all the parents come out to support their sons and daughters is just always such a great sight to see. It was also great to have our Board of Trustees there that do a lot of the behind-the-scenes work on planning, on curriculum, on development, on fundraising, to make a lot of these things happen. So to see the whole community come together is really great.
We welcome you to full membership into the Cleveland School of Science and Medicine. Congratulations.
Just happy he's in a great school, you know. He got himself in here, and I'm proud of him, very proud of him.
The students were very proud too. Many said they planned on keeping the coats on until they had to go to sleep that night, and they were definitely wearing them to school the next day. For more stories like this, visit clevelandmetroschools.org/news. Reporting from the CMSD TV studio, I'm Shannon Kantner. Finally, we'll turn to one of the biggest stages in Cleveland, Mayor Frank Jackson's State of the City address. Hear what he had to say about education and the advice he gave a CMSD student. Cleveland Mayor Frank Jackson has plenty on his plate with the Republican National Convention coming to Cleveland in just a few short months and a proposed income tax increase. But those weren't the only topics he discussed at his 11th State of the City address. He also talked about CMSD, the progress the district is making, and why education is the key to the city's success.
Everything Cleveland has been successful at as a city is because we have done it as a community, an entire community, and we've done it with a winning attitude, that we can do this. The greatest example of that is the Cleveland School Reform Plan. Republicans, Democrats, labor, business, district, charter schools, the philanthropic community, everybody came together to create real school reform. But it was the public, the citizens of Cleveland, who closed the deal by supporting and passing a levy, an operating levy in 2012 and a capital levy in 2014. Now, this operating levy is up for renewal and will test our resolve to have true reform and test whether or not we are truly committed. This is also a vote of confidence as to whether or not our school district is moving in the right direction.
The mayor continued by pointing out successes like the Pre-for-Clee initiative and an improved graduation rate and a big achievement that is difficult to measure, attitude.
An intangible indicator of the school system moving in the right direction is the positive attitude of its teachers, its staff, the parents, and the students. They believe that we can and that we will be successful.
But as the head of the only mayor-controlled district in Ohio, he admitted there is still work to be done and told the audience at Public Auditorium that November's vote on extending the CMSD operating levy will show how determined voters are to have real education reform.
Now, education is the key to our success. It's key. A city that provides quality education for its children will retain and grow population, maintain and attract new businesses, and position itself for the future.
And the future looks bright, with students like Julian Huff representing CMSD in front of almost 1,000 community members during the question and answer portion.
I'm a sophomore at New Tech East, and my question to you is, what did you learn in high school that has made you so successful to this day?
I didn't do too well in high school. I didn't do too well. Let me just point out something to you. I would have went to East Tech if I'd have stayed in my neighborhood school, but I wound up going to Max Hayes because I wound up taking a trade. I was a machinist. But I graduated in the bottom third of the bottom third. So I didn't do that well. And so after I left, I'm going to get to the point, long about answer, but I'm going to get to the point. So after I left school, I was almost 20 years old, about 19 and a half. I had failed so many times. And so I was so old that they drafted me into the Army. And I had to go down there and tell them that, hey, look, I'm still in high school, so they let me go. But within 6 months, within 4 months after I graduated in June and October, I was in the Army. So I did my time in the Army, did my tour duties wherever they sent me, came back, ran around in the streets for a while, Then maybe when I was about 26 or 27 years old, I went to community college. And I had to take remedial courses. I could read and write and do math and stuff like that, but I couldn't do it at a level that would allow me to pass a college course. I learned how to read the books. I learned how to interpret them. I learned how to write paper. I did all that stuff. Then I wound up with the associates, bachelor's, master's in law, right? Now, why am I telling you this? Why am I telling you this? I'm giving you that long story because what I learned in high school age helped me immensely to overcome challenges in the street. It immensely allowed me to understand the academic side and how it pertained to me as a young black man in an urban center. So you have two opportunities for education, and don't deny either one of them. Get the academic side, do well, learn how to study, learn how to interpret, but never forget who you are and where you come from, because that is that will be the best education you have. It will allow you to overcome things, and the academic and formal side will become a tool for you that you can apply it in a way that's to your benefit and who you care and who you love. Okay?
After the event, I spoke with both the student and the mayor about their conversation. The 15-year-old told me he was very nervous at first, but he appreciated the mayor's honest answer.
I look up to him. I want to be a mayor one day, actually, if I have a chance to. So I wanted to know what he had to go through to get to this part of his life. Actually, I learned a lot. I learned that I should never give up. Whether I'm stuck in a bad hole or not, I can just climb out of it.
He asked me a direct question. I gave him a direct answer. He has an opportunity to make change. He has to be ready for that opportunity.
The audience enjoyed Mayor Jackson's frank response and gave him a standing ovation at the end of his address.
We will become a light on the hill, a great city. And people will say, let us go to Cleveland to see how it's done. Thank you very much.
I thought the highlight of his speech was education. I was pleasantly surprised at his response to that young person, how he self-acknowledged he wasn't the best student in high school. And through life lessons, he was able to endure, come back, graduate from high school, go on to community college, get his master's degree and his law degree. But it was those life lessons he learned. And not only are we educating young people's minds, but we need to educate their hearts and their soul. And you can obviously see that the mayor is really true to his community, and I was really impressed with that response.
Many people seemed impressed. The event was hosted by the City Club, and the secretary of the board of directors said it might have been the first mid-forum standing ovation in City Club history when the audience stood to applaud before the Q&A began. For more stories like this, visit clevelandmetroschools.org/news. Reporting from the CMSD TV studio, I'm Shannon Kantner. That's all the time we have. For more CMSD news stories, visit clevelandmetroschools.org/news. We'll see you next time.